Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. This is Twist Gaming, where you get to play board games with us. We are coming to you live here from Gen Con 2019, bringing you all the board game coverage all week long. As usual, I'm your host, Matt, and right now I am joined with Rudy from the Game Brewer. Rudy,
Hi.
how you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Can't complain. I mean, I haven't been to the floor yet, but I hear it's crazy.
Well, still a little bit jet lagged, so
Ah.
I'm coming from Europe, so
So day one has been tiring, to say the least.
it was tiring and very busy to set up all the games at the organized play and stuff like that, and a lot of meetings and so.
Mm-hmm. So let's just jump right into things here because you have brought the largest game that we've had so far up to the table. So what are we talking about today?
So this is Fuji Koro. Fuji Koro is was on Kickstarter in May and June, and will be an Essen release. And we have some organized play here at Gen Con to give people a chance to try it already.
Fantastic. It is absolutely gorgeous on the table. I mean, it looks beautiful, and I hope it's translating well over the camera
It's
as well.
art by Miguel Coimbra, so yeah, we like Miguel's art, of course.
So what kind of game is Fujikoro?
Well, it's a dungeon crawler, but it's not just a dungeon crawler. It's a dungeon crawler with Euro game mechanics.
Okay.
Right? But I should first tell you a little bit about the theme. It's set in Asian Japan in the 18th century, and the shogun sends us samurai down into the volcano because the volcano will soon erupt, and a lot of precious things will go lost. So we are there to rescue sacred scrolls and magical blueprints and monks and so on. So we go down inside this temple. We start in the middle on the central tile, and then we will explore the volcano and gather a lot of things. And of course, we will also meet dragons inside that volcano.
Of course.
Yeah. And yeah. So shall I explain the game mechanics a little bit?
Yes, please.
So the basics are very, very easy, I must say. So you have 3 action discs normally, and there are only 4 actions that you can choose from.
Okay, if you give me one of the player boards here, I'll show it off a little bit in this close-up camera.
Okay.
All right, and so this is the action disc up here you're talking about.
Yeah, I can give you a few if you want, but the actual discs will be in wood. It's important to state that this is only a prototype, so
Gotcha.
final components will be better than this.
Right.
So there are only 3 things that you can do. The first possible action you can do is explore. So very easy. You're on a tile, and you just pick a tile from the right level adjacent to this tile, and you put it on the board.
Okay.
So for instance, here we will put a level 3 tiles. We've got tiles in 3 levels, and then you put on the tiles whatever is on it. So you can have resource tokens, you can have adventure tokens, you can have dragons, you can have sacred scroll tokens, and so on. So that's the first thing you can do is exploring, right? And with exploring, you can also gain points. We have many points salads in this game, like in a Euro game.
Gotcha.
So that's the first way to score points. The second thing you can do is just walk. In the beginning of the game, walking will be only 1 step. So for instance, I go here.
Okay.
Right? And the third thing you can do is mine. So whatever you encounter on those tiles, you can pick up. So here there would be a level 1 resource tile. So if I'm here, I can just pick up 1 wood and 1 iron, and I flip the tile. And now whenever someone explores a tile adjacent to this one, then this tile will be available again. It flips again.
Okay, so it's not a one-time mine resource there. You just have to
Yeah.
have to keep exploring for that to become available again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now the interesting part of this game, according to me, is the Euro game mechanic part, which means that those tiles that you gather, those cubes that you gather, go into your backpack.
Okay, and your backpack is going to be this space over here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and these cubes you will use to craft your sandals and your weapon and your helmet.
Okay, so you're crafting your gear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's the fourth thing that you can do. When you're out of action discs, or whenever you want, actually, you can just rest. And when you rest, you take back your action discs, and you can craft on your player board. So that means that you will move your cubes from your backpack into your weapon, for instance, right? And you will need this weapon to fight the dragons, of course. So, for instance, if I have a weapon with 3 iron and two wood, for instance, you can shape it in whatever shape you want, really. So if I have this weapon, this will allow me to fight a dragon with 4 gray dice and 2 brown dice.
All right, so let me move the camera over here so we can see what you're crafting on your board.
Okay.
So what's the advantage of building your gear with a certain orientation?
Well, basically, you can do everything, anything you want, but if you match those cubes with the cards on the board, the gear cards, then you can collect those gear cards. For instance, if I make sandals with 3 wooden cubes, I can take this card and I can slide it underneath one of those 3 actions.
Oh, okay.
Which means that in the future,
you get an additional thing to do.
You get an additional action, really, because now when I explore, I can also move 1 step.
Oh, that's really cool.
Or in the other way.
So can you slot them in any space, or does certain gear slot specifically in certain main actions?
No, you choose what combination you want, but you can only have 1 card in each slot, and it has to be 3 different cards.
Okay, so you can't just put move across the board.
No.
Gotcha.
There are actually only 3 things in the competitive version of the game. There's also a cooperative version, by the way. But you can gain 3 things, or you can get an extra step, or you can get score a point. So, for instance, if you combine this with movement, that's move, and I have a point.
Every time you're just running around the board collecting points.
Yeah. And gaining resources, wood or iron.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, you develop your player board like this. That's one way to develop your player board. Another way to develop your player board is by gathering sacred scrolls.
Okay.
On this side. So there are these scrolls. So whenever you can pick up one of your own tokens. So if I'm blue, I would have a token on this space. So when I'm here and I'm mine, then I can dictate this one. This goes inside into my backpack, and I get to choose one of those scrolls.
Okay.
And I just put it here. I also scored 3 points, and from now on, I have an extra advantage. And there are a lot of cards to choose from.
All right, and then are they all unique, or they just like
they're all unique? Yeah.
Oh wow, okay, cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is upside down.
So all those scrolls, when you're getting them, those are just added benefits you can get. So this one here, let me show off what this was. So what exactly are we looking at? What's the anatomy of this card? I know it's green screening just a little bit here.
That one means that whenever your helmet is completely gone during a fight against a dragon, then you get 2 extra health.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, you're not immediately dead.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah. So, and then on this side of the player board, you can also gather magical items. I didn't construct all the 3D temples yet, but in the temples you can collect those magical cards, or magical blueprints, we call them. When you're at the temple, you can take 2, and you could put them next to your player board.
So this is gear that you can build as well, but it's only available to you.
Yeah, this is only available to you, and when you craft it, your gear becomes magical immediately, which means that you put a green, this will be an acrylic transparent cube in the final game, but you put it on top of your gear, and then it becomes magical, and it becomes much more powerful.
Okay.
So in your helmet, it gives you 4 extra, you can take 4 extra hits when you fight a dragon. In your weapon, you will gain 4 initiative, which decides who will start the fight, who will start to roll the dice. And in your sandals, it will make you move over lava more easily. That's one thing I didn't mention yet, but it's a volcano, so there's a lot of lava.
I see a lot of lava spaces out on the board.
Yeah.
So how does that affect your movement and how the game actually plays?
Yeah, well, actually, you can't move over lava. That's the basic, unless you have strong enough sandals, because walking over lava does 5 damage to your sandals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you just remove cubes,
Mhm.
right? If you have a magical cube, that means this is already 4. Wood is 1, so I remove this. But then the fun thing is, if I have wood in my backpack and I can craft again,
You can repair your sandals.
you can repair your sandals, and whoops, it's magical again. So I put a cube back on.
Oh, because you've got that, it would still maintain the
I still
magical
have the
ability?
blueprint with that says that my magical sandals have 3 wood. So,
Oh,
then-
that's cool.
well, actually, this is a bad example because this was from discard. So this wouldn't be a magical sandal, but it will be. The magical items are a little bit difficult to craft. But
Gotcha. All right. So then, as we're progressing through the game, what is the end condition? When does the game actually end?
well, then I have to talk more about lava because when someone reaches 30 points, then the end phase of the game begins.
Okay.
That means that we're going to move a token on this track. And for instance, when it goes onto the 1, then we will look at on all the tiles and see where there's a 1 and add lava to it. So,
So the board's
more
gonna
and
start
more
to fill
lava
up.
will fill up the volcano. And then at the end of the game, you should be sure that you reach the rope on the central tile, and the rope will appear here
Mm-hmm.
when you're here. So you have to make sure that you reach the rope again, and then you can escape the volcano. And then here you can deliver your the sacred or the magical items that you crafted. You can hand them over to the Shogun, and he will reward you with a lot of points.
I like it. So this whole thing is we're actually exploring inside the volcano, hence the lots and lots of lava going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
All right. So it's pure point based, and is there any hidden victory conditions, or is it just purely as the game's progressing, you're collecting these points and?
No, not real hidden conditions, but we have worked out 10 different scenarios.
Oh.
We have a lot of scenarios in the competitive version, and we have a lot of scenarios in the cooperative version. And in the future, we will even write more scenarios, probably. And you can even play it solo.
So talk to me about competitive versus cooperative here. So competitive, I'm assuming we're going head to head with points. Is cooperative
Mhm.
we're just trying to get the highest point total, or is that the scenarios that you're talking about that we're trying to fulfill specific conditions?
Yeah, specific conditions. The basic cooperative version means that you will have to craft enough magical gear and then escape the volcano again.
Okay.
But yeah, in each scenario it will be different. The fun part about the cooperative version, according to me, is that the dragons start to move.
Okay.
So first, when you appear on the board, they are asleep, but after 2 rounds, they will start to move towards the nearest samurai. This means that you will have to, combine your forces, or some people will have to hold the dragons, while others will collect the cards and so on.
Very cool. So what's the playtime that we're looking at on Fuji Koro here?
Half an hour per player.
Half an hour per player, and
And
then
you can play it with 6, so then it's a 3-hour game.
are the different scenarios then longer or shorter than each other?
Well, we've tried them all, of course, and
About the same.
each time we have the same time.
And are they different difficulties, or are they all about the same difficulty as well, just different things that you're going for?
No, they're all the same difficulty level.
Okay.
Yeah, but we have a lot of varieties. For instance, I'm showing here the standard player boards, but we also have the asymmetrical player boards on which each player has special abilities.
Oh, I'm a huge fan of asymmetrical player power, so definitely I dig that.
That was something that we did during the Kickstarter. There was so many people demanding it, so that's why we did it.
Very cool. So you said this was on Kickstarter. When can our viewers find this game in stores?
By the end of this year, it should be in the stores in the United States.
Very cool. And anything else with Fuji Kora that you wanted to talk about, or any other things going on with Game Brewer?
Yeah, well, we are actually founding Game Brewer USA at the moment, which means that we will no longer, because we already have about 8 games now, but we sell them mainly in Europe, But now we are also going to concentrate on the American market and sell the games ourselves instead of selling the licenses. So in the future, the American public will see a lot more from Game Brewer.
Sounds good.
Yeah, one of the games that we have coming up is a Kramer and Kiesling game, for instance, called Paris. We've got Roxanne coming up this year, which is a game about poetry, totally different theme. Very accessible game in which you write your own poem with cards. So
that's neat.
Yeah.
So like much more creative type game versus your dungeon crawl, beat up the dragons.
Yeah. Indeed. Totally different type. And the Kramer and Kiesling game Paris is a typical Euro game. So yeah, we always try to search in for games that have a special thing that no other game has. So in this game that was the combination of the Euro game mechanism of point salads with the dungeon crawler. We didn't see that very often yet. So
very cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us here today. We really do appreciate it. Taking
You're
the time
welcome.
to talk
Thank
about
you for
Fuji Koro
having me.
and everything else going on with Game Brewer. And for all of our viewers watching at home, we're going to take a little intermission right now. We'll be back in just a few moments with more coverage here from Gen Con 2019. Signing off for now, though, I'm Matt. Have a good one, everyone.